Hi everyone, and welcome to my next video, which is going to be focused on how we can serve static files in Django utilizing ServeStatic, which is another option, or should I say alternative, to white noise. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I want to mention, of course, is you need to make sure you have a project to which you want to apply this to. So make sure you've got that in place, and also make sure that you have some static files that you want to utilize. So here I have a simple CSS file and also a JavaScript file as well to go in my project. All right. Right, so let's get started. Now I will be sure to attach the documentation here for quick static in the description of this video. Okay, so first we want to install ServeStatic. So I'm going to copy that. Then you want to go into your terminal. I'm just going to align this here. And you want to say pip install ServeStatic. Okay, so let's just give it a moment to install. And there we go. Perfect. Right, now we're going to be utilizing this with Django. So what we want to do is we want to ensure that the middleware for ServeStatic is just below the security middleware in our middleware list for Django. So if we go to our application, let's go to our settings.py file. I'll just zoom out a tad bit. Let's go to middleware. And here you can see we have that security middleware here. So I'm just going to press enter, leave a space. And then here we can just copy this ServeStatic middleware that we have. And you just want to go ahead and paste that in. So remember, it needs to just be below that security middleware. Right, the next thing we want to do is we want to go on ahead and add in the storage backend here for ServeStatic. So in our static files directory, we're going to ensure that we serve our static files, and we're also going to add in compression support as well to ensure that it is going to be cacheable forever, so we don't have any caching issues or whatnot. Right, now what you can also do later on, which you can experiment in this video, is you can also look at how you can set up CloudFront and other CDNs with the Django guide that's provided here. So that's just for extra use. But in the meantime, we can copy this. And I'm going to put this right near the bottom. And there we have that backend in place. Perfect. So we've got that set up. Now, what we want to do is we want to continue with the guide here to make sure we have everything in place. So we've enabled ServeStatic in our middleware. We've added in compression and caching support. That's what we just did. Okay, and now what you want to do is you want to make sure that Django static files is configured correctly. So we want to make sure we have static root. So as of this moment here, I have of course the default static URL and static files dirs, just to ensure that with the application it's going to serve all of my static files in my static folder here, so for CSS and for JavaScript. So what we need now is static root. Okay, this is important that we add this in here. Now this is going to be important when we actually deploy our application. So when we run collect static, it's going to essentially pull all our static files into static root for us. Okay, so we can copy the following and we can go ahead and paste that in just like that. Okay, perfect. Right, now the next thing that I want us to do is I want us to test this locally to see if the caching is going to work. So what we can do is go up and you want to set debug to false for now, and we'll set allow hosts to all just for the moment. Okay, then the next thing you want to do is you want to collect your static files. So we can just say python manage.py collect static. Okay, so it might take a little bit of time, so let's just be a bit patient. There we go. Now if we go to our directory, zoom in here, we can see now that we have a static files directory here, and we can see everything has been collected. So if we were to go into CSS, we can now see that we have these static files here that have been hashed for us, and we also have that compression support here in place, hence you can see these hashed numbers as you can see here. Okay, so we have that set up. So now what we can do is we can access our application. So let's say python manage.py run server. Okay, let's go here. We can refresh our page. Now we can right click, go to view page source. And now if we zoom in just a bit, we can now see that it's using that static file that has been compressed here. So styles dot, and you can see it's been hashed. So we've got that compression support based on the backend of ServeStatic here set up. So we can see we've got that compressed manifest static file storage in place. And we can open this up. And there we have it. Okay, so that's just the indication to see if we're actually serving our static files properly. Now, when we actually deploy to a platform, we are going to use render for this deployment. We don't need to actually upload this project to GitHub with the static files included here. This is just a test locally, just to show you how the process is going to work in deployment. So it's kind of like a preview for you, if I might say. So the general idea is, since we have static root here in place, what's going to happen is when we run, of course, collect static at the cloud deployment platform area, when we go on ahead and deploy our application, it's going to create a static files folder for us in the backend of the cloud service provider that we utilize, and then it's going to, of course, collect our static files, and it's going to serve them according to the backend that we've set. So this has just been like a preview, should I say, of this whole process, and this is also explained in the documentation here with what we are doing here. So, for example, they give like an example here of utilizing it on Heroku, but in our case we're doing it with render, but the same principle applies here, that when we go on ahead and deploy our application, of course we will ensure that collect static is run to put all the static files into our static root location, which is set up. Okay, but anyway, that is how you would set all of that up. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is we can just delete this static files folder. We don't need this. Okay. All right, now that we have that completed, we then want to ensure that we install Gunicorn. Now, Gunicorn is essentially a WSGI HTTP server for Unix, and it's going to help to ensure that our Django application can communicate with the backend servers of the cloud hosting provider that we utilize. So we can go ahead and copy that, and then we can say pip install Gunicorn. Okay, there we go. The next thing you want to do is, if you don't already have a requirements.txt file, let's go ahead and create one. So we can go ahead and say pip freeze greater than requirements.txt, and that will provision one for us. So if I go in here, I can see I have one here set up and into place. Okay, so make sure that you have that set up. Okay, perfect. Now let's go ahead and ensure that we upload our project to a GitHub repository. So we can now go on ahead and head on over to GitHub. So you can just head on to github.com. And now we can go ahead and create a repository. Okay, I'm going to keep it very simple here. I'm just going to call it sample repo, sample application for the description. For now, I'm just going to keep it public. I'll add in a README file, but you can, of course, customize as you so desire. Just create the repository. Great. Now, instead of going ahead and using, of course, Git with the Git bash terminal, what I'm going to do is very simple. I'm just going to drag and drop here. Of course, you can go on ahead and do it any way you like. I do have videos on the channel that cover how you can utilize Git bash and such. That's actually the most appropriate way of doing it, but I just want to keep it simple and keep it to the point. Okay, so now we can open up our project. All right, and I want to go into CRM. Okay, and I'm going to go on ahead and move all of these files to my repository here. I'm just going to drag and drop. So I'll first say plus and say upload files. Okay, and let me go ahead and do just that. Okay, so let me go ahead and just drag them here. Okay, so you're more than welcome to just skip ahead. I'm just going to keep it very simple here. Okay, and see how many I can see if I can do the rest. And there we go. All right, so it's going to take a moment, so let's just wait for that. All right, and everything's here. Scroll down. I'll call this upload 1, commit. Okay, let's wait for it to process. And there we go, we have all the files here. Very simple. Perfect. Then we want to define our cloud service provider. So we're going to use Render. Render is free. I will also be sure to add in a link to Render. So all you need to do is create an account with Render. It's very easy to do. And we're going to deploy for free as well. Okay, so once you've got that set up, you can go to your dashboard. Okay. And now what we can do is go ahead and say deploy a web service. Okay, I'm just going to say public Git repository for now. And I'm just going to use the one I have. I'm just going to add that in. And then I'm going to say connect. Okay, you can customize the name here if you desire. It's going to detect it's based on Python. We will be on the main branch. The region here, of course, you can change as you so desire. Okay, and the build command here is where it's very important. So it's going to install, let me zoom in here for clarity. It's going to install all the packages in our requirements.txt file, but we also need to append this command to go on ahead and collect our static files as well. So that's something that we want to ensure that we add in here as well. So we need to make that adjustment. All right, so all we want to do is append onto this build command. So all you want to do here is add in a double and symbols, and then you want to say Python manage.py collect static, and then -- no input to ensure that there aren't any prompts to ask Render to perform a certain, how can I say, a certain sort of prompt to continue. Right, then we need to adjust our start command. So this is where Gunicorn comes into account. So for that, we just need to go to our application. Let's go to our settings.py file. And in your settings.py file, you want to look for WSGI application. So this is going to pertain to your Django application's Gunicorn settings here. So what we have is Gunicorn app. We can remove that. And in our case, it's going to be our Django project's name. So mine's CRM. Okay, and then it's going to be .wsgi and then colon application. Okay, so that is what the format will be. And this is what Render is going to use to start our application with the deployment. We want to choose the free option here. Now do keep in mind the notice here on the right. And then of course, you can of course set your environment variables and such. Okay, I just kind of speed it up ahead just to show you the static files part, but just keep that in mind. Okay, so we can just say deploy. Zoom out here. Okay, and we can see that it is currently in the build phase. So I'm just going to wait for it to be deployed, and I'm just going to show you the static files being served in a deployment-based environment. So let's just wait for this to deploy. All right, so welcome back. So we can see the deployment is live now, and we can of course go on ahead and access it. So here is my URL, and there we go. We can see our static files are being served, and we can see the stylings in place. Now the only thing I wanted to show you here is from a deployment perspective. That's why I didn't go into details, environment variables or anything and kind of rush through it. But if we right click now and we go to view page source, you can now see that it's serving with compression support now. So everything is going to be handled from a cache perspective. and we can see we've got that, how should I say it, that a hash in place of our static files here, specifically with our CSS file for styles.css, and we can see it is working. And if we go down, we can see also for our JavaScript file as well, the same is in place. Okay, so there we have it. That is how we can go on ahead and ensure that we manage our static files with ServeStatic. Now, there are additional things you can look into. You can, of course, utilize it with ASGI as well. And of course, there's more information in terms of optional configurations that you can add if you want to modify ServeStatic with Django settings. And there is some documentation here as to how you can utilize additional properties in terms of enabling ServeStatic during the development, and also how to utilize a content delivery network, or CDN, as well, and some additional information on that too. Alright guys, so that's it for this video tutorial on how we can work with our static files and how we can serve them with this nice library called ServeStatic. So I will be sure to include the documentation for ServeStatic. I'll add in the link for Gunicorn and Render, the full things. Alright, so I'll add that in the description of this video. But that's it guys, as always, thank you for the support, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.